Our first blind item is Kardashian related, and it reads, nothing like telling the world you hate being a mom to your kids because it isn't all about you all the time. How did the reality family let that edit go through? And this is about Kim Kardashian. You must admit it is odd behavior to have these children and then when they grow up, try to shine the spotlight back on yourself. It just seems like she's so hungry for attention. One person writes, I think it's more that she's moved into middle-aged mom territory. She's single with no man on the horizon, and she isn't being chased after by a slew of men and is blaming it all on the kids. Another person writes, probably somebody was so sick of editing their fake show on the last few days of their 2-week notice, they just couldn't resist letting the world hear it from her own lips before they left. Another person writes, her kids have no respect for her, which is her own fault, and it's just gonna get worse. In this scene, Kim was speaking about her birthday and how she would much rather enjoy it without the presence of her children, which I could see being relatable, but this person writes, I was shocked when she said how horrible of a time it was for her with her kids on Mother's Day. She's just a horrible person. The related headline reads that Kim Kardashian laments spending birthday with kids, saying that she was tortured doing everything everyone else wanted. Where's Kanye at? I mean, we've seen him spotted out and about in Europe, but it seems like he's checked out as a father. So this report writes that Kim Kardashian wasn't too thrilled about the way she spent her 43rd birthday. She says she thought she'd have the day to herself, but she was stuck doing everything everyone else wanted to do. She was stuck watching YouTube unboxing videos. She had a FIFA tournament. She also watched, I guess, Color Me Mine, which I guess she did all these things with her children and didn't enjoy any of it.
How was your birthday with the kids? I thought my birthday I'd have a day to myself. I was stuck doing everything that everyone else wanted to do. I was stuck watching YouTube unboxing videos on my birthday. I had a FIFA tournament. Color Me Mine. You should see the ugly thing I made. Like, this is not what I wanted to be doing on my birthday. I need to sit my kids down and be like, this isn't Mother's Day. Like, this is my day. Do you think a mom wants to go to Color Me Mine one more time on her birthday? Whose birthday is it? No, I was tortured.
I would
Just make me breakfast. That's a great birthday.
Yeah. What would your perfect birthday have been?
To lock my door, not get out of my bed, and eat cookies and cream ice cream all day long. That's what would have been my dream. But no, no one cares about my dreams. Not for kids, at least.
Of course, they're going to make a storyline out of anything. And even though it makes Kim Kardashian look bad, she doesn't care. I mean, we recently made a video talking about her poor parenting skills, and maybe it's because she doesn't really like to parent.
I think that we've all, as moms, been through some days where we don't want to be doing what we're doing, but we do it for our kids. So come on, Kim, suck it up and do a little Color Me Mine.
Having 4 is hard.
It's like a madhouse.
Your house is a circus because you have a lot. And you have a lot going on.
I'm going to get my shit together, and I'm going to be a drill sergeant. Like, Chloe is so tough.
Well, have you talked to her about this?
No, because she's just very judgmental.
Now, here's an interesting blind item about Justin Bieber. This north of the border singer was very worried all of his financial information was being shared with the team of the producer slash wannabe rapper, which is Diddy, and also wants as far away from what will be all kinds of discovery occurring at the management firm, which is TriStar Sports and Entertainment. They've sent me several cease and desist letters, which I think is incredible because now they're being investigated. Plus, they are just plain awful people talking about the firm, Robin Greenhill, Lou M. Taylor. So it turns out that Justin decided to fire them. Now, I don't know why Justin would be worried about his part in whatever Diddy's investigation is, or maybe he's just worried that this firm has like messed with his money and gotten him into some financial implications. This person writes, I'd love for Justin to retire and never tour again. I pray that he heals from whatever happened to him when he was a teenager and just started out. He deserves to be happy and enjoy being a dad. So the mainstream media picked up on this, and the headlines read that Lou M. Taylor was fired weeks after her company TriStar was named in the Diddy lawsuit. It also looks like he has replaced her with Johnny Depp's business manager. Keep in mind that Britney Spears accused Lou M. Taylor of being a big part of why she was trapped in a conservatorship, which is why she has sent me cease and desist letters. It looks like Robin Greenhill has been implicated in one of Diddy's lawsuits, and Robin is actually Lou and Taylor's like right-hand man. So I get to see why Justin doesn't want to be associated with them at all, especially because I was just driving down a Sunset the other day and I saw a bunch of cops outside of TriStar, and then when I looked on social media, it turned out that they were being, I guess, raided for information about Diddy. And of course, all this talk about Justin Bieber and Diddy just promotes viral videos of where Diddy was acting inappropriate around Justin, and I wonder what Justin has gone through.
Welcome to the family, John.
One source claims that Justin's split with TriStar was not amicable. He fired Lou. People generally stay with their accountant for ages, and Justin was only with TriStar for 2 years. This happened in May after the Diddy raid. Justin's financial affairs are now being handled by his new accountant and business manager, Edward White. Robin Greenhill was named as Diddy's accountant, who allegedly oversaw payments to sex workers, according to music producer Lil Rod. It looks like this isn't too much of a big deal for Justin at the moment because he isn't really performing. He hasn't really performed since 2002. It's just been a handful of times. But it does look like his Bieber Time Touring LLC is currently suspended as it is not in good standing with the California Franchise Tax Board. So it looks like right now his touring company hasn't been keeping up with their LLC documents, and he's just really checked out.
Wow, it looks like it's a pretty bad time to be known gremlin Lou Taylor, because not only was she implicated in the Diddy lawsuit, the latest one, but she also, according to the Daily Mail, was dropped by one of her biggest clients, Justin Bieber. Now let's remember, when Justin Bieber sold off his entire catalog, which young artists rarely ever do, Lou Taylor was signed onto the paperwork of all that signing away of his music. That's interesting, right? Anyways, so Lou Taylor, who was on the board of Church Home, is no longer on the board of Church Home as of a few weeks ago. They've updated their website to say that she is no longer there. TD Jakes still there, but Lou Taylor off the board. And there's also been some blind items about Justin Bieber crying while he's in church, talking about his past abuse from someone, not saying exactly who it was, but if he was crying in church, he was probably crying in Church Home. That's interesting, huh? And you would think Church Home would want to keep her on the board since she brings in so much money from her conservatorships.
Oh God, J-Lo is not gonna like this one. The ex just frequently comes over to keep the A-list actor from drinking, which is about Jennifer Garner coming over to hold Ben Affleck over from, I guess, jumping over the edge. This person writes, she has to stop being his mother. They're divorced, move on. Another person added that it's not easy because they share children, so she wants to make sure that the father of her kids is doing all right. Another person adds that Ben has to surrender before he can achieve victory. If he quits drinking, he still has to address what caused him to drink in the first place. This person writes that Jennifer Garner is near saint status right now. Ben is so messy, but he is the father of her kids, and she wants and needs him to be okay. She can't babysit him 24/7 though. Another person has the same sentiment. I don't know, I sort of respect Jennifer for doing this, thinking of her kids and what a nightmare it'd be if he totally breaks. But this person argues that the blind item reads that she goes to him. I can't see Jennifer Lopez putting up with that, not in her house. And I can't imagine Jennifer Lopez being happy about them hanging out, but it seems like J-Lo is done trying to save their marriage. Jennifer Garner was spotted arriving at her ex's Ben's house as his and J-Lo's marriage is reportedly over. This person writes that Jenny has had enough. She's really tried, but she can't do no more. It's not getting any better, it's worse.
Ben Affleck spent Father's Day with Jen Garner after J-Lo posted a tribute to him. Their kid Samuel was also photographed with them at one point, and Ben even gave Jen a ride home at the end of the day. As you guys know, there's a rift in Ben and J-Lo's marriage. They're currently selling their marital home and they're living apart. But on Father's Day, J-Lo did post a tribute to him. She used a throwback photo of him from the movie Pearl Harbor, and she referred to him as a hero, but we now know they did not spend Father's Day together. J-Lo's tribute to Ben last year was totally different. She used a bunch of personal photos of him and even posted a sexy pic of him. So what do you guys think? Is it shocking that J-Lo and Ben didn't spend Father's Day together, or does it not mean anything?
This source says when it comes to Ben, if there was a way to divorce on grounds of temporary insanity, he would. He feels like the last 2 years was just a fever dream, and he's come to his senses now and understands there is just no way this is going to work. Jennifer Gardner, meanwhile, has reportedly been supportive of Ben and has even tried convincing him to save his marriage to J-Lo. Jennifer Gardner fully supports their relationship and wants nothing more for him to be happy. Despite efforts from all three parties, it looks like J-Lo and Ben are moving towards a separation. Especially because the mansion that they bought together, the $60 million mansion, a big house, has been up for sale. And I'm like, who's going to buy that house? I mean, I guess there's so many rich people in the world, but you never really think of them. I mean, who just casually buys a $60 million home? It's actually funny. I live about like 13 minutes away from J-Lo's house, which is crazy to think. Or well, her former house, her on the market house. Oh, should I go and act like I'm like gonna buy it? I'm just kidding. I could not fake that. I would feel such imposter syndrome. This article writes that at this point the stars are living separate lives. They went into their relationship very optimistic and thought things could change, but they haven't. I just feel like they aren't compatible. I don't think J-Lo's a terrible person. I don't think Ben is a terrible person. I think he's got issues with drinking, and I think J-Lo has an issue with her attitude. But I hope that they like kind of separate and figure themselves out, because I just don't think they're right for each other. Oh no, here we go with the Swifties, which I have to say, I love Taylor Swift. I also like Charli XCX, but the A-list singer doesn't really seem concerned about the backlash she has received for blocking other female artists, so it's not surprising that she's also going to attempt the strategy again, this time against the initial singer in that singer's own country, while Taylor Swift is over in the UK. This person writes, they are sick of hearing about Taylor Swift. BBC News dedicated 20 minutes to her tour when she was playing in Paris. Part of me wonders if this hype is manufactured, but why? Another person writes, yeah, at this point I wondered the same. She used her famous friends to come at her gigs and now everyone wants to go to say they went to a Taylor concert. This person writes, her ex-boyfriend Joe also did an interview and implied that she cheated. The pretty blonde wholesome image is wearing thin and people are starting to see her true nature. Another person writes, she seems to be setting up a new bad B-word reputation era to follow the Eras tour. Another person adds, she's such a mean girl. I like her music, but she is the definition of a mean girl. I don't know if I can handle all of this Taylor Swift slander. Taylor Swift is at the top of her game, and because of that, I feel like people are trying to tear her down. Maybe she is trying to implement this strategy, but I think it's to break records. Either way, I do love Charli XCX. I've actually seen Charli in concert. I've never seen Taylor Swift. Despite delivering Charli XCX's largest debut yet, the charts have been blocked by the Tortured Poets Department, which will spend a 6th week at the top. Fans expressed suspicion at the timing of an announcement from Taylor on the release of 6 UK-only album variants, which I do think that's a little bit targeted because it's just for the UK, and she, Charli XCX, is from the UK. One person criticized her on Twitter, writing that Taylor is releasing new versions of her album. They write Snoozefest, but I do enjoy the album. Only in the UK because Charli is predicted to go #1 there. One person writes, why is Taylor Swift threatened by Charli XCX? I love you, but you are on top of the world. Let Charli have her moment. Swift fatigue seems to be growing online after her Tortured Poets Department exploded to truly historic heights. It sold so much that I think people are getting a little bit like overwhelmed with the influx of Taylor Swift content. One person writes, I am so over this woman. Fans also call out Taylor's supposed greed and question her defensiveness in the face of success by other female artists.
How is it female empowerment? How is it empowering women to literally sideline an artist that's probably at the peak of their career, Charli XCX, trending, gonna be #1 in the UK, and Taylor Swift has to re-release the same motherfucking boring-ass album because she knows that her zombie followers will literally be attracted to her boring-ass re-releases, the same thing over and over again, like zombies to rotting flesh. She knows that. She's preying on the fact that you guys will literally eat up every single thing that she puts out, and it's mediocre at best. Like, I used to be a low-key supporter, would never say that I was a Swiftie. It's like, oh, I like some of her music. I think some of her music is really resonates with a lot of people. But at this point, it's literally just bullying. It's bullying and to prove, like, what? You're a better capitalist? You're better at monetizing your art? it's like Charlie XCX is like actually trying to do something different and trying to resonate with a whole demographic of people that are marginalized, that are ostracized, that are whatever. And it's Taylor Swift will be the first example to never isolate the conservatives in her fan base. She'll never isolate the nastiest individuals in society, because to her, they're just dollar signs.
Now, I did enjoy the Tortured Poets Department album. I really did like that album, but I also really like the Brat album by Charlie. There's no denying that it is boosting in charts, and they also released a deluxe edition to try to help boost it a little bit more, but I don't think it's enough to defeat Taylor.
So Charlie recently released Brat. Brat was forecasting charting to go #1 in the UK. Taylor then announced she was going to be releasing new digital albums with bonus tracks and first draft phone memos for UK fans. UK fans specifically after her UK shows, which took over Brat from reaching the #1 spot. Now, during one of Charlie's recent shows, she was talking on stage where she was like, artistry shines through. Right before she was about to play the song that people suspect is about Taylor.
But it's just really cool. Like, I just feel like artistry shines through, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to share the space. I don't want to force a smile.
Here we've got some royal drama. Well, I guess it's not royal anymore because they gave up their titles, but the illiterate one is trying to make an argument that the only reason she moved back to the US is because her husband moved here and she had to follow. So should be exempt from paying taxes like he is. Wait, so Meghan Markle is not trying to pay her taxes? Is that what's going on here? This person writes, even more grief for the grifters. They'll be in this heap somewhere. The IRS just sent its sights on what it says is a $50 billion missing tax revenue lost to wealthy people shifting their assets between companies they own. Could you imagine if Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, and other big wealthy celebrities got involved in an IRS tax scandal? I mean, that would shake up everything. I feel like the elite wouldn't allow that to happen. This person writes, lock her up. LOL, seriously, now she's trying to grift the government. This person writes, Meghan Markle was a nobody. In my book, she still is. Rather than Prince Harry exalting her status, she has brought him down to hers. Once he gets rid of her, she'll fall back into obscurity. She has no redeemable qualities, and the world is on to her hatefulness and greed. The IRS isn't going to give any credence to her pathetic whining. The fun part will be when the tax man cometh, no one will be there to help her. Wow, that person really went off on Meghan Markle. But Meghan Markle does act like, Oprah status, which, because she was married to a prince. I mean, the math, I don't really know. What's the math? Is she Oprah status? This person wrote, I don't think her businesses are making profit, so she won't have to pay taxes anyway. I'm sure she writes off her wardrobe as a business expense. Now this looks bad. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle work 1 hour a week for $13 million at an Archwell charity. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry vowed to become financially independent after abandoning working royal duties. But how much labor are they actually putting in? Good question. In January 2022, Meghan and Harry infamously announced that stepping down from the firm would provide our family with the space to focus on the next chapter, including the launch of their new charitable entity, Archwell. However, recently released tax documents for their Archwell Foundation report that Meghan and Harry actually only worked 1 documented hour a week in 2021. It's also been revealed that the Beverly Hills-based organization raised just over $13 million from donors, with $10 million coming from one generous private donor. I don't know who that would be, but that's a pretty big gift. I wonder who they've been paid off by. Now, that's a lot of money coming in, but I think a lot of people are questioning what Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are doing with these funds.
Supposedly, they received $13 million in donations, and I use that term lightly. Well, where's all the money going? Because they're paying their executive director $59,000 and some change, which is a really crappy salary. Like, I'm not going to lie, is a really crappy salary. I would never even, roll out of bed. I wouldn't even, it would be a no-go. It's a terrible salary. But when you look at the fact that he only works 1 hour a week, or was it 1 hour? Yeah, 1 hour a week. That's pretty good money. I'd roll out of bed for 59 grand a year US dollars. That's like 70-some thousand dollars a year Canadian, $80,000 a year Canadian. But look at all the other supposed employees. Are they not paying their employees? Do their employees work for free? Like, there's no payroll here.
The Archwell Foundation did put out a statement, but not a great one, just kind of a general statement about their mission, that they want to help support a growing community and that they are listening to the people and their communities and helping them, but really not explaining where the cash flow is going. I'm sure it's just going straight to this family, and now they don't want to pay taxes on it. Something else that needs an investigation might be SpaceX, because this blind item reads, the celebrity CEO uses his companies as his own personal harem, which I didn't know what harem was, so I actually pulled up our good friend Google. It's harem. And I don't know exactly what this is. Harem refers to domestic spaces that are reserved for women of the house in a Muslim family. The harem may house a man's wives, their prepubescent children. What does it mean now? It's okay, I guess it's a part of the house that's made for just women. Let's break this down a little bit further. This person writes, I feel so sorry for Elon Musk's legal team and PR team. There's no way they are paid enough to deal with his shenanigans. The reason why we have this blind item is because Elon Musk had inappropriate intimacy with a SpaceX intern. Actually asked a woman to have his babies. Looks like he is being accused of having a relationship with 2 of his employees, including an intern and another employee. This is a series of allegations against Elon Musk, who has been accused of using drugs on the regular, including LSD, cocaine, ecstasy, mushrooms, ketamine, and it looks like at times with board members. Wow, which that changes your brain chemistry. Elon was accused of nurturing a hostile work environment where jokes about sexual harassment were common and women were paid less. In their complaints, former employees accused him of creating a sexist culture at the workplace where sexual comments and other forms of harassment were tolerated. A SpaceX flight attendant alleged that Elon exposed himself to her and offered to buy her a horse in exchange for sex back in 2016. Another woman who resigned from SpaceX in 2013 claims that Elon had asked her to have his babies on multiple occasions. The billionaire, who has at least 10 children, has said that the world faces an underpopulation crisis and people with high IQs should procreate. Wow, that's a lot of confidence, huh?
Elon Musk is running a, quote, animal house. The SpaceX founder and his company being sued by 8 former employees who allege that they were illegally fired for raising concerns about gender discrimination and about sexual harassment. They were fired back in 2022 after their open letter criticizing Musk and urging the company to make some cultural changes. This lawsuit alleges that Musk trumpets himself as, quote, the leader to a brave new world of space travel, but runs his company in the dark ages, treating women as sexual objects to be evaluated on their bra size, bombarding the workplace with lewd sexual banter, and offering the reprise to those who challenge the animal house environment that if they don't like it, they can seek employment elsewhere.
There was a very popular tweet from a little while ago where Elon claimed that he was starting a university with what he considered humorous acronym, and I won't go into what that is, but that got very popular and got repeated all over the workplace. And one of the follow-up tweets was that D's get degrees, which was a joke about breast size.
Elon is just so creepy, especially just imagining him trying to pursue you, trying to hit on you, trying to even act sexy in any way. The report also claimed that women who worked at SpaceX received repeated invitations from Elon Musk to come to his house at night. The following details the text exchange between the two. Elon writing, come by, look, it's either me or 6 a.m. Just finished the Model 3 production call. It's def gonna be hell for several more months. Are you coming over? If not, I'll probably trank out. Too stressed to sleep naturally. Probably best if we don't see each other. Which is funny how he says best if we don't see each other because he's not getting a reply, but it is concerning that he says he's gonna trank out because he's gonna do so much ketamine that he just is gone. The next morning, the woman replied, writing, oh man, I'm sorry, I've fallen asleep. I've been a late night person most of my life, but I've been trying to switch it up because it seems responsible. Sorry, I crashed last night. So of course, she was probably being apologetic because she felt like she needed to because it's her boss. Though Elon Musk and his company is denying everything, so they have enough money and power to fight this to the grave. And I wouldn't be surprised if every person who comes forward, ends up settling. I want to hear what you guys think of this week's blind item breakdown. We are in our 20th week and we had a long one and I was so excited for it. But how are you guys doing? How are you feeling? I feel like we just did a lot. We did. That was some heavy lifting, people. This actually is like my first merch I came out with like a long time ago. Like when I had like probably 60,000 subscribers. I didn't know what I was doing, but like it's a little like tea bag, and it's based off of, like the Lipton tea, but it says my name. Let me see if the back, I don't even know if the back is still there. Look, vintage Sloan merch. So funny. But I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Did you like this week's episode? And I'll see you in a new video soon. Look at me, I'm like slurring, I'm a little bit tired. I need a Red Bull. I'll see you in a new video soon. Bye, guys.